about me, I work on a show we call it White Room Radio. Been doing it since 2005. August 1st, 2005, in fact. We just celebrated our 400th show. We did a live show in Detroit, Michigan. We had 150 listeners show up for our live show from as far away as Toronto, Canada, and Nebraska, of course, and South Arizona. It was really a lot of fun. And we just talk about Mini Coopers for an hour a week. For that, we get between 3,000 and 5,000 listeners around the world. We've been invited to attend events in Europe, in England. People from those areas come up and introduce themselves and say, hey, we've been listening for a really long time. It's great you were able to make it. And one of the nice things about those trips that I've been able to take, they were completely free of charge. Because the parent company of the BMW likes our show so much. They like how our interaction with the community is, that they like us to be at these events. Which is really a lot of fun. So we're going to talk about podcasting. Who here has a podcast now? Who really has a podcast?
Me?
Yeah.
3 of them.
Really? And you have one right now?
Yeah.
Yeah? How long have you guys been doing your show?
Well, we've been doing one for 2 years, and we have another one, which is going for another 2 years, but we stopped in this other one.
Okay. JD, how long have you been doing your show?
Since 2007.
Good job. Excellent. And the rest of you here don't have a show now, but you're interested in starting one? Possibly, maybe? Okay. Podcasting is very, very hard. And which is to say that it really isn't. It's as hard as you want to make it. Because if you are one that overthinks, if you are one that likes to fiddle and fuss and play with WordPress plugins or fret about microphones or other bits, podcasting's hard. If you're excited about what you're going to talk about, if you're excited about who you're going to get to talk with, for example, I do a show with 3 to 5 other guys on Thursday nights. I get really excited because I get to hang out with my mates for a couple hours and record a show. And get to talk about something that I really like talking about, which is music. But if you're one that likes to talk about anything, Kiwi Fruit. As long as you're excited about it, people are going to listen. Come on in. I'm not going to single you out. What's your name? Yolanda, you. I'm not going to single you out, Yolanda. As long as you're excited about what it is you're going to talk about, people will listen. And downstairs, Eva just said your podcast should be as short as possible. To an extent, he's right. It should be as long as it takes to communicate your message for that particular show. If you can communicate your message in 5 minutes, awesome. If it takes you an hour, awesome. As long as it's always pretty much the same. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. Podcasting is really comprised of 3 different parts, not to mention the actual thing what a podcast is a file attached to an RSS feed. That's the nerd stuff. All it does is it makes it so it's possible for that podcast to go from your website to iTunes, to Stitcher Radio, to any number of what they call podcasting clients. Most popular one is, of course, iTunes. That's what a podcast actually is. And to get there, it takes 3 steps. You got to produce one, you have to publish one, and then you have to let people know what you did. Hardest step, production. That's hard. Unless you have a Mac, which I like to see Mac people. On a Mac, podcasting is quite simple. You've got a program there called GarageBand. You start GarageBand, you click the red record button, you say your stuff, and then you hit the stop button, and then you send it to iTunes and export it out. Give it some show notes, put in a nice piece of art, upload it to the server, you're done. If you're on Windows, however, things get a little bit more complicated when you go to produce your show. There are ways to do it that aren't as bad, but if you're looking to do podcasting for free or cheap, you're going to be stuck with a program called Audacity. It's a free program. It's open source. It's terribly complicated to use. It's a very high learning curve, and it's not very stable. There's a lot of fun when you're producing your show and you're recording, you're talking, you're excited about talking about Kiwi Fruit with whoever you're talking about, and then Audacity crashes. And you go, crap. And you just lost all everything that you just did, and you have to start all over again. Do you see that? But that's part of podcasting. If you are not an audio engineer, you're going to have a really hard time with this, with the production part. So the trick is just to figure out a way. Lately, however, we've got a device that looks very similar to this. Could be an Android, could be an iPhone, could be possibly one of the new Windows phones that are coming out. If you have a telephone, you can record a podcast, even on some BlackBerries. And if you're a Windows user, it's easier to do it on your phone, I'm not kidding, than it is to record with Audacity. Because even if you have an Android phone, there's like 3 really great voice recorder apps. And you turn it on and you talk into your telephone, and then you stop it. And the quality's not bad, considering the microphone you're talking into is not big. Makes it really simple. When it comes to production, find a system that works. Stick with it. Don't fret that you don't have the latest, greatest microphone and some big fancy amplification system or a mixer or inline compressor, all this radio gear. Don't stress that stuff. If you have the headphone jack, the headset that's used to play Xbox with, you can plug that into any PC and record a podcast. Plug it into any Mac, too. You can go to Staples and buy a $45 USB headset. There's your microphone. You can use the built-in microphone on your Mac, on your PC. The trick is you have to actually produce. That's key. Because if you don't produce, then you're not a podcaster. You're not making a podcast. Because if you spend all your time just go, oh, no, my tunes are... make sure I need to have, or do I need to buy a Mac now? Oh my God, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And then what happens is you burned all these cycles, and it's all of a sudden it's like, oh, this podcasting thing's too hard, I'm not going to do it. And then you don't make a podcast. And nobody gets to hear how excited you are about kiwi fruit in Arizona, which would be truly, truly tragic. Because I'm actually looking forward to that show as soon as somebody produces it.
Okay, I'll do it.
Production. That's the hard part. A good tip is to find somebody who actually likes to do that. I did. So it worked out well for me. I rarely have to edit a show. I can do it, and I've done it quite a bit. But one of the guys I do my show with produces it for me. So all I have to do is talk to him quick. Except just audio, so no looks not really count. You can come in. Come on in. I won't pick on you, Dan. I swear. I'm going to see anybody out. I'm checking my notes about production again. Hang on. Yeah. Length of the show we did. Now, if you are producing a podcast and you want to talk to somebody who's not next to you, they're in another city, they're in another state, another country, best way to do that is via Skype. SKYPE. Everybody here, I'm sure, has heard of Skype. And I'm sure most of you have actually used Skype as well. Skype is amazing. Skype is what makes it possible for me to do my show. Skype is what it makes possible for Leo Laporte to do all of his podcasts. His multi-million-dollar Twit network is run by Skype. Remarkable, remarkable software. You need to record Skype, however. If you're on a PC, use a program called Pamela, and that'll capture both ends of the call so that you can bring it into something later to edit. Like Audacity. Sorry? If you're on a Mac, you get an application called Audio Hijack Pro. Just search Google for it. Those guys are brilliant. I forgot the name of the software company, but Audio Hijack Pro is amazing. Just as it's Pamela. It's going to cost about $30. But that is how you can record Skype. It'll let you record, grab YouTube audio. It's a brilliant piece of software. So you're going to need that, and you need to edit it. Easy, easy, Jeff, easy. The trick is to just work with the stuff that already works. Use Skype. Don't go, well, I need to make a call to somebody. What am I going to use? Oh, here's this really obscure thing that I heard about on some obscure board that was kind of talking about podcasting. Don't do that. Stick with what we know. Skype. Skype works. And a lot of people have good luck with it. That's production. Once you get your podcast produced, you need to actually publish it. A lot of people here this week are going to talk about WordPress because WordPress rules for podcast production. It really does. It makes it really, really simple. It doesn't require a whole lot. Almost every web host supports podcast or WordPress. And there are a gazillion different plugins for WordPress that are podcast specific that you don't need. You don't. This is another place where you're going to get hooked up. You're going to start going, okay, now I need a website to host my podcast. And you're going to fuss with the theme and get it looking the way you like. And then you're going to fuss with the theme and get it working the way you like. And then you're going to say, okay, now I need to make it good for my podcast. And you're going to do a search for podcast plugins. And you're going to all of a sudden, you're going to have like 12, 13, 14 different plugins all for podcasting. And you're going to fuss with the theme. And then you're going to tweak your plugins and find the ones that work. And then meanwhile, you've got this little piece of production sitting on your server that nobody can hear. Why? Busting. We go back here to our WordPress theme. To put WordPress to put a podcast in WordPress for the normal person requires scratch that. We'll go with 2 plugins. So I need WordPress will automatically build the enclosure for you that is required to make it a podcast. It's like an email attachment, so that other places can download it. It does that for you automatically. But the really nerdy part is getting it into iTunes. That requires a level of knowledge that I don't even have. I'm a pretty smart guy. So we're going to run them down here for you.